What's going on, people? I hope we're all well, and as per usual, living the dream. It's been a while since I've done a video. I tried to shoot this a week, if not a couple weeks ago, and this is how it sounded. I'm kind of sick a bit, hence my voice being terrible, so I apologize for that. Yeah, I was sick. Seems to be quite a bit of a cold going on at the moment around people, so yeah. But I just wanted to do this video to recap the year. I actually had this video in mind at the beginning of the year with all of my plans and everything like that. I knew it was going to be quite a busy year for me, and there was going to be quite a lot of content that I'd bring. There were things that I did, there were things I didn't do. I just want to recap on the things that I did do, some off camera, some on. And overall, it's been a great year, a massive year for me personally, and also for the channel. This is going to be one of a few videos where I have quite a personal perspective on it as well, because it's been quite changing. Life has been quite changing. It's been quite I say changing. I've changed in a lot of ways that only people that know me will know. There's always challenges in everyone's life, really and truly, but I feel like I'm not just like the guy with the K24 FN2. I'm me, like I'm Joseph, you know. So, and I know all of you have your own problems and stuff like that, so I just wanted to kind of talk a little bit on that as well. So yeah, I'm gonna try not to chop and screw this video too much. There may be times where my mind goes blank, and I might just cut that, but I don't even know why I'm telling you that, but I'm just gonna leave that in anyway, so you you know, it's as raw as I can, as my body, my soul, my mind, who I am can take it when watching it back on the editor. So yeah, anyway, let's go. So I've got categories for this year, on videos, honorary mentions, favorite mods, etc. and whatnot. So yeah, let's just start from the top and go back down. My favorite videos to make of 2023, there's two that came to mind. Now, these, I'm not saying these are the best videos that I made. And also, I should mention as well, I'm not just doing it from 2023. I started this channel late 2022. So, or like my first upload was late 2022. So I'm just going to include those into it because that's just the way I see it. And I didn't do one for 2022, obviously. So yeah. Anyway, favorite videos to make. The K24 build, the first iteration where it was actually being built by Honda HQ. I had a lot of fun filming and editing that video. I had something like over 200 gigs worth, or like nearly like 170 to 200 gigs worth of raw content. Now, for those that don't make videos, that is a lot of video footage to sift through and make a film over. Believe me, it's a big deal. So yeah, it was fun. It was so much fun. I've never done anything like that. This is the first car I've ever owned that I've modded like to this extent, genuinely. So I'm learning as I go. And then also the track day at Snetterton, that was a big revelation for me. And this was one on a personal level where I felt like I'd done something I said I always wanted to do and just never done, which was a track day. For as long as I've spoken about driving and whatnot, I've always been one to enjoy driving a car more in the twisties than in straight line, hence why I had my FN2 on standard power for so long. I enjoy cornering. I get more enjoyment and more appreciation and more, just more of like enjoyment out of a car through corners than I do in a straight line. Straight line is oppressive, cool, it's fine, but let me see what you can do in the bends, man. That's it. So yeah, and I thought, well, what's the ultimate way of doing that where I'm not going to bin my car on the side of the road and get in trouble, and I can actually drive it legally as much as I want, probably as I wanted to. And as the FN, I actually was thinking of getting a track car, hence why I did polls on my channel saying if you had 4K, what would you buy? Or 2K, what would you buy? But then my friend John was like, look, you've already got an FN2 that's literally running really good power, coilovers, big brakes, rear anti-roll bar bushes. What are you doing? What am I doing? So yeah, and it was awesome filming that video, watching it back. Yeah, everything about that day, when I think about it, just gives me chills. So yeah, it was awesome. I definitely will be doing more of that in the future. As and when, I don't know, but I will be. So yeah, those are I would say are my two favorite videos to have made this year. Not to discredit any of the other ones I did. It's just those two really like catch me, if you get what I'm saying. So yeah, my most impactful mod, or mods, I've got 3 here, and I'm actually going to do them in order. I'm going to do them in order, and it's going to surprise you guys. Again, judging from what I look for in a car, to say overall it's the best is all subjective. One of these mods was vastly more expensive than the other, which I'm sure you guys have already worked out. But yeah, the first one, the most impactful, the rear anti-roll bar. Again, Jav, shout out to you for selling it to me for £100. Deal of the decade for me, because I know these like go for something like, geez, £250 by themselves. And that's without even having it fitted by someone else. You can fit them yourselves if you feel so inclined to do so, to be fair. But yeah, this, just when I thought that like the mods and whatnot, or the handling of my car was great, it took it to another level. And I do mean another level. There are times where I will drive around the corner and whatnot, and I just do take it for granted. I kind of forget what the car was like before. It was still very good round corners, let me not disregard that with the mods that I had before. But with the rear anti-roll bar, everything is just a lot more flat and you have more grip. That's the only way I would put it. If you haven't done it, do it. Like, there's no questioning about it, do it. The second one, my coilovers. Anytime I drive a normal FN, either on lowering springs or standard suspension or whatnot, and I go into the coilovers and I go back and drive my car, or someone goes and drives my car, like it's night and day. It's night and day. There are definitely trade-offs with that one. I'd say there's no trade-offs with the rear anti-roll bar, apart from the fact that if you've got a 3-inch exhaust, you might need to modify the softest part of the bar closest to their tip, closest to the exhaust exit, if you've got a single exit. That I can talk about in another time, or if you've got any questions, email me. But yeah, the coilovers do have a trade-off. Whilst it's not harsh, but coilovers make the whole car move with every gradient of the road, or with every dip of the road, so be prepared for that. That's what I will say. Yeah, it's not like it's a bad thing. For me, I feel like it's definitely a fair trade-off. I don't use this car every day like I used to. I don't have a daily anymore. I just mainly work from home, seldom in the office. So when I do go to the office, it's a fun time. I drive on V roads. But yeah, no, the grip is crazy. The adjustability, the build quality of the Tame Flex coilovers. Look, I'm never going to suggest that all of the other ones are rubbish, but I've been out on one before, BC racing. The Tades are better. That's what I'll say. So cool. And then the last one, the K24 Frank. The power difference from what it was factory, even from like a mapped K20, and for the money that you pay just to go that little level up for the extra torque and ultimately the extra power too, no brainer. No brainer for me. If I had to do it all over again, I'd still do it. I recently had the pleasure of driving a forged K20. It isn't fully mapped, it's still on a safe map, but it's still running very good power, and that makes you laugh. I've also experienced Tim's Turbo FN2, as most of you will know from the Culture and Chat episode I had with him, and again, awesome power. I never ever say anything to degrade anyone else's choices. I'm just saying for what I look for, it'd be that again. If I had to do it all over again, I'd still do it all over again. Maybe I'd have a built head and like a bigger throttle body and go and push that a little bit further if the purse string permitted. But 283 horsepower and over 200 foot-pounds of torque, I'm still doing real good. So yeah, cool. The next one, my most surprising video to make this year. I say this year, well, it was late 2022 I made it. Again, just before Christmas, was the top 5 essential mods for the FN2. And the reason why I say it's surprising to me is because I've seen so many people talk about their recommended mods to people, to new owners on Facebook, etc. Where they're like, oh, I just bought an FN2, but I want a little bit more out of it. What do you do? People's usual go-tos are induction kit, 421 manifold, what is it? Oh yeah, get your brakes sorted, which that one I definitely agree with. And I just immediately start talking about the lack of power in an FN2. Again, I think there needs to be this like appreciation for what the FN2 actually is. It's a 2-litre naturally aspirated 200 horsepower hatchback. You don't get those anymore. You just don't. And also another thing I want to say, right? Maybe there's people out there that aren't on B roads or looking just for straight line speed. If you're looking for straight line speed, just the thrill of straight line speed, the FN2 is just not for you. I'm not gonna mince my words on that. It's really not. For the money you can go and get an Mark 5 Astra VXR and get your gearbox broken. I sent unnecessary shots. I had a Mark 5 SRI. I do love those shapes. And my friend's got a VXR Mark 5, so don't shoot me. But yeah. But if you want a car with engagement, a great place to sit. It's lovely on the inside and outside, designed way ahead of its time, offers you more practicality than you can actually use. Then what more are you looking for? And the one of the main things I do want to say as well is they actually handle quite well out of the box. They really do, in my honest and humble opinion, however much weight that holds in this social media and content creators space. It does. It really does. I didn't, like I said, I've had my car for, it'll be 5 years in July 2024. And I've only just touched power this year. What more was I needing? I wasn't. I mean, I'd be careful who I battle, of course. In a straight line, that is. On the B roads, just with the lowering springs that I suggested, the spacers, decent brakes, like upgrade your pads and your discs, and your fluids, of course. It's just like, I don't get it. Anyway, I'm not going to like say everything that I listed there, but it's different to what your usual things are. Yeah, we're talking tires, we're talking brakes, we're talking spacers, even like, I can't remember if I mentioned lowering springs. Anyway, the video will be in the description. I'll note it down there. So if you haven't seen it, you can click on it there. The reason why that video was so surprising, because I digressed again and I did the same thing when I first recorded this video, is because it's my most viewed video. I didn't think it would be. I just sat here and I spoke to you guys and I gave you B-roll and whatnot, my usual format, and I thought, look, this might help someone. I never do it thinking I'm shooting for the views. Nah, I always do it like this is a video I actually want to do. I feel like it could be informative to you guys. Have at it. Yeah? So, yeah. You guys liked it. And a lot. So, yeah. Yeah. Cool. Now, my most creative, which I feel is quite self-explanatory, but basically one where I kind of pushed the boat and changed my format, which I'm gonna be doing a lot this year, by the way. But it has to be the Car Trend Chat series, more specifically Tim's one, Adam's one with the, you know, the one video I have on my channel where it doesn't mention an FN2 or a K20 or a Honda or anything, or even Japanese. Yeah, that was a great video to make. It took me a long time to make it. Shout out to him, man. That's my real good friend and great homie. He'll be more on the channel this year. I don't doubt it. But no, with Tim's one, again, I met him through a car club that we're part of, UGen, CC. So yeah, and we did car shows, and we had spoken a little bit beforehand, I think a tiny little bit, but then when we met, yeah, it's just a cool guy to talk to, and we share a lot of the same opinions with a lot of things, so I think it's just, yeah, it was just perfect. And his car, in videos, I've got 2 videos of his car on my channel, the EDFC review and then also the coilovers. Listen, videos, it looks great in videos, it looks fantastic in person. Yeah, I don't know a cleaner built FN2 than that. The only one that comes close was Matty Champ White's old one. His was very, very, very nice as well. Actually, in 2, to be fair, there's a couple others that I can think of as well, but those 2, yeah. So yeah, and I just came at that with a different angle, different inspirations for different things with that video. And yeah, that's what I would say was like my most creative of the year. Like I'm giving myself categories. So yeah, I'm just going off my phone as well, just because I make notes. I have honorary mentions this year, so these are things that like I did which I didn't film or I forgot to film, because not everything for me is a video. Yeah, or sometimes I just feel like I don't want to film it, or I forget, I don't know. The JDW drive out, this was actually just a personal, not just a channel highlight, but a personal highlight for me, for my brand, and actually not actually for my brand, actually, let me stop that. For myself, we went out to the peaks as if I invited everyone to say, okay, look, who's interested in going for a drive out? Quite a few cars, or quite a few people joined in. A lot of people dropped out lastminute.com, which is fine. These things happen, yeah? But I went with, it was myself, Matty Champ White, Nate with his sapphire blue FN2, very beautifully built again, and Sean in his beautiful Champ White Civic, yeah? The 4 of us in the peaks going down B roads at good, like at a very good pace, very close, literally capturing what these cars are built for. It was, again, it's one of those times where I think back to myself and I'm so happy that it actually turned out the way it was. Great company, great cars, great food, a whole load of laughs. And I had a great accommodation there with a free brandy. I can't complain. How can I complain? It was awesome. I can't sell it enough. Like, and I'm not even trying to sell it, to be fair, because I don't know. I don't think I'll be doing one in 2024. That might change. But I do want to do more road trips. More road trips like that. I enjoyed that more than any car show I had been to this year, which might rub certain people the wrong way. It doesn't bug me. It's just I'm not trying to diss it. I'm just saying, like, being out in the car was just so much fun. I built that car for that purpose, and it fit that purpose perfectly. So yeah, if I do another one for the channel, I'll let you guys know. I'm going to be doing personal ones, which I might just put up saying, look, I'm going to this. If you lot want to go, you can. Cool. But yeah, I was just awesome. It was just absolutely, yeah, it was great. It was great. Peak District roads, yeah, awesome. And shout out to Dave. with the Slam Def N2. I imagine some of you may know him through Instagram, but yeah, listen, we went out on a drive out on a Sunday as well, and it's jazz, and that was good. That was so good as well. So yeah, I just want to shout all of those people out. That was amazing. The Mims car show. I just said I had more fun out on a drive out than any car show I'd been to. This year, believe it or not, I'm 31 years of age as I'm recording this video, and I had never been to a car show like by myself, like a proper one. I used to go to like these little Screwfix meets in Welling Garden City years ago with my friend in his 106 Quicksilver, which was a load of fun way back when, but it's not the same. Do you know what I mean? I went there, my K24 had just been built. It was still a little bit tatty. It wasn't as good or clean as it was. It was on standard wheels. It's just the car that you had seen in the video. I put it there. Only people that knew me or knew my videos or knew my plate number had known me. And I think it's the first time I'd ever felt like a celebrity, because as I was walking through, like just getting food and walking with people, looking at cars, I had multiple people approach me, just saying like they appreciate the videos and stuff like that, and they saw my car when they came in and parked up. I was like, oh, like it was strange. So I just want to shout out all of you that watch the videos, and any of you like that I've spoken to, bought parts off. I think his name's Mark, the one I bought cams off. Real nice to meet you then as well. Yeah, there's quite a few people. There was someone with the cleanest M200 I've ever seen. If you're watching this video, please comment below. I'd been trying to reach out to you for a while, but I didn't have your number or whatnot. Email me. My email's in the description. Very nice to meet you and your wife. Yeah, man. I did meet a lot of great people through the car show scene, for sure, for sure. So yeah, Mims April 2023. That was really, really good, really good. I want to shout out Honda HQ. Now, before I say anything, let's have this out clear. I was not sponsored for any of the work carried out by them. There's no like crazy discounts or anything like that or whatnot. Like, I paid them each time. And because I did that, I feel like my next words are going to be more valid, so they're not biased or anything like that. The K24 build they had done in about a day and a half, all of the guidance, all of the help in picking up stuff and equipment that I needed beforehand, I bombarded them in our chat. They are awesome, absolutely awesome, super busy people. So if you're trying to get a hold of them, I understand that maybe it might be tricky for you to get bookings and stuff like that, but I don't have a bad word to say about them. Like, not one. Dan and Matt, you guys are real ones, for sure. Thank you for looking after my car. Thank you for building my car. It's obviously something I could have said off camera, but I've done so many videos with them, it just made sense to just say it here. Yeah. Nah. Thanks. I now have a great beast out there. So yeah. And I also want to thank Tezza, who most of you in the FA2 car scene will know. He's not a car breaker, but he does come across some like rare parts, and he helps me a lot in my build and for like quite a few parts. And just general car friends that I had met through YouTube, through people that email me. Ray, regular emailer from, I want to say, the Netherlands. I believe he's Dutch. Listen, shout out to you, man. I appreciate all the advice you gave me right at the beginning when I started doing videos. I took them on. I know I sound like I'm being cryptic to everyone else, but yeah, I've just met some great people through doing this, and it's allowed me to grow immensely in so many different ways, and I'm not gonna stop. Like, there's gonna be so many more things to do. The gap between this video and the last one is the longest I've had this year, and that's for multiple reasons. Mental health reasons, just health reasons in general, and also I'm not one to just hop on a video and make a video, hop on the camera and make a video for the sake of making a video. I like being consistent. I like having a time scale. I like being organized, but I will not just do something just to do it. What you see on camera is actually me, and I will always just try and bring something of substance and not waste your time. So, or mine. So, yeah. Now, the last part of this video is quite a personal touch, I think. I've learned quite a few lessons this year just through life. And through the car scene as well, and through life, and I just kind of wanted to touch on them. If they resonate with you, then let me know. If there's ever anything that you don't want to talk about, I have an email address down below, and I'm definitely going to be a lot more interactive this coming year. I feel like I've been already, but I will definitely be more. My first lesson of 2023. It's gonna sound ominous or whatnot, but just it's very, very true. It's something I was always taught when I was younger. Watch the company you keep. A lot of you have aspirations and ambitions. Yeah. Watch the company you keep, because you never know who's negatively affecting that until they're not there, or until you have like the right thing in your ear. Do you know, the right advice, the right voice in your ear, the right people around you. A lot of you may already know this anyway, but genuinely speaking, it's one of those things where I've learned so much how that can affect your own life. Even just the peace and quiet in your quiet time behind closed doors. It's important. So if you feel like you need to check that, definitely do so. It may come in the form of family. It may come in, it may even come in the form of family. For some of you, it's true. So yeah. The second lesson, you do change and you do evolve. I always used to say you don't, but people do. And that's actually okay and quite good if you're doing it for the right reasons. I think it's quite easy to tell as well if your quality of life definitely goes up and you're not just tormented left, right and center. Embrace it. Embrace it. Just because it's not the norm doesn't mean it's not good. You know? Sometimes change is good. It's happened to me this year, and I've had a tricky time of learning that that's okay and not fighting it. So, yeah. Be authentically you, on or off camera. Look, in the world of social media we live in, like, and I know a lot of people preach this, but genuinely, it's so easy to look at what other people do, trends, this and that, and then to hop on it. You don't have to go with the narrative. Sound like a conspiracy person here, innit? No, but I'm being so serious. I think one thing that I've been blessed with is a great family. My family is everything to me. Who are able to just kind of make things or put things into perspective as to what I want to live for and what I want to do and who I am, where I come from. I think it's important to keep that, and not just what social media expects for you to be at what certain age and certain whatever. Everyone's paths is different. It's so easy to watch someone else go and buy a real nice car, and then you immediately start checking yourself like, well, what do I have? I will admit I caught myself doing that for literally about 5 minutes, and then I thought to myself, actually, wait, there are people out there who are envious of the car even I have. Not that I'm living for that, not that that's my reason for having it, but it just makes you appreciate what you actually have. J. Cole once said, love yours. And if you haven't listened to that song, listen to it. Even if you're not into rap, just you can look up the lyrics. It's an important message. So yeah, and that's why I actually say I don't think I can ever see myself selling the FN2 unless I absolutely financially had to. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. Do what makes you happy. Tomorrow isn't guaranteed. I'm thankful I haven't had to learn that lesson through a close person dying or their lives drastically changing for whatever reason, but it's so true. It's so true. We kind of live just to be secure. Some people kind of survive, and maybe that's just the situation you're in right now, but don't let that be your end goal, man. Life is so much more than that. It's so much more than that. Doing the drive outs this year, doing car shows, putting all of that money into my car was instrumental of that. I'll give you a very quick backstory, and I might even put some photos up where I was in terrible shape, but you can understand why. Me starting this channel was a very tricky part in my life, and I'm not going to go into the crazy details as to why I did it. It's not necessary, and ultimately it's not the point it's not part of the point I'm trying to make. But I have a blood disorder problem called sickle cell, and some people might have heard it or not. If you haven't, look it up, but I'll give you the baseline of it. It's basically where some of your blood cells are you have normal blood cells which are circular, and some of them are sickled, and it can cause it causes various problems within your body or your energy levels, etc. But the biggest thing that comes from it is something called a sickle cell crisis, which is when like your blood cells essentially get clogged in a certain area, with a certain vessel within your body. It can happen at different areas at any different time. There's stress is a trigger, temperature, extreme temperature changes, etc. triggers and whatnot, and sometimes it could just happen, and it causes, I'm pretty sure on the NHS pain scale or something like that, it's like second behind kidney stones or something like that, above childbirth. And basically when I first started this channel, I had just came back from my first like really large one. I was in hospital for about 4 days, just living on painkillers. I was possibly going to have a blood transfusion. I was in agony for days, and even when I came back from hospital, it was still ongoing. But during that whole time, I learned that health is really, it can be fragile, and you don't have anything if you don't have that. You actually don't. So not only did I start getting on my health kick and obviously weight training and whatnot, which I had done before, but started to try and be a little bit more regular and whatnot with it. I also, in my mind, I was like, well, I'm not just gonna be fleeting, waiting for the next crisis to come, and then in between that I'm just working for the living for the weekend. I'm actually gonna enjoy my life. Do you know what I mean? And I did that. There was so many obstacles in that. There's a trial in time, but it birthed this here. And at this point last year, I was on just under 100 subs, and now I'm 500 in 1 year. And I've got no one else to thank but you guys. And which brings me on to my final point. Being on over 500 subs is, for me, an indication of what I'm doing being on the right path, and also you guys enjoying it. I thank you all who have joined this journey. The biggest thing for me, I always say in my videos, if you like it, show it. Or at least I try to say it when I don't forget. And the reason why I say that is because it actually does show me that what I'm doing is right. And people have given me constructive feedback on the card show and chat series, which by the way is definitely coming back in 2024. And I will always say constructive criticism, and the rate in which I'm getting likes to videos or likes to views is vast. So you guys are hearing me and you're doing that, and I appreciate you lot. I genuinely do. As I sit here, I'm not gonna say I'm emotional, but I am filled with a warmth. I'm gonna sound like so moist here, I don't care. I just don't care. Look, thank you. I really, 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 really appreciate you lot, for sure. This has been a video where I've been talking for like 30 minutes, and I just wanted to capture that. On to bigger and better things next year. The car's going nowhere. I will do another video just mapping out my plans and even parts I've got chilling to go on the car, and ones that I'm possibly going to get. Yeah, that's really it. I hope and pray for you and your family, all of you guys that have your families and your friends, to enjoy a mark 2023, even if it was a bad one for you, Be thankful you're still here, and it actually gives you the opportunity to make next year better by God's grace. And I genuinely mean that. Yeah, you lot are awesome. And appreciate what you have now whilst you have it. I cannot state that enough. The grass is not always green on the other side. Happy New Year and Merry Christmas.